It's raining and we planned this day with another crew and we didn't want to cancel it, so we're gonna climb anyway. There's no thunder, it's just kind of doesn't want to stop, drizzling on, gets harder, gets softer, that kind of thing, rain, so it'll be tolerable, just not as much fun. This is a tree we got to work with today. It's a silver maple, nothing crazy big. Just got some stuff over the house. We're gonna swing back to this side and lower right here, and then we'll be able to free fall this stuff as long as it doesn't get too stuck in this locust tree. Our battle is gonna be keeping water off the lens because that's already a problem, but I think it'll be okay once I get you guys up on my helmet. We got Aiden and Isaiah down here today doing the groundwork for us. First thing I'm gonna do is spike up this tree, set some rigging, and then we'll get to cutting. Looks like there was a big limb removed from the house side of this tree once before. A little bit of structural decay. Nothing crazy, we'll probably be fine. All right, we got our climbing rope set up. It's tied up there. Setting a rigging line right below it with this Omni block. This is probably my favorite 1/2-inch rigging setup. It's just so fast to install and so easy and lightweight, and it swivels and it's so easy to midline attach, all that. I have 2 of these things. I use them so much. I'm actually probably gonna use both of them in this tree. But all to say, if you wanna get one of these, I'll put an affiliate link in the video here. And if you buy one with that link, the company selling them gives me just a small percentage of that. And that really helps cover the cost of making videos and such. So if you think you want one, use that link, it'd be helpful. Got the rope in the block. I want to talk to you guys a second about the order of operations, just in case you're not familiar. The house is over there, that half of the tree is over the house, and so we have to swing all that tree over to this side. And so that's why we set a rigging block up over here, because wherever the rigging block is, all of the debris is going to end up hanging straight below it. You can see that rope goes down to there. Safe area, good drop zone. Don't have to worry about anything hitting the house as long as we keep it high enough so that way when it swings, it doesn't brush the house. I put my climbing rope up over here too because this is the last part of the tree we're going to work on. We're going to use this point to get the rest of the tree down, and then only then will we work down this point. So I don't want to put my climbing rope on that half the tree and have to move it around a bunch as I cut parts of the tree off. We're not going to rig anything super heavy today, so we're not at risk of breaking this side of the tree, so I don't have to worry about breaking out the part that I'm tied into. So it just makes sense from a speed and efficiency perspective to put like the climbing rope and the rigging rope on the same spar. Now you'll see up there that I did put the climbing rope higher. That is just to give me better mobility around the tree and to keep the climbing rope and rigging rope from getting tangled super bad. And that separation, that vertical separation helps a lot. We're about to go out on our first limb over the house and rig it down. It's too big to rig in one piece, so we're gonna climb out and we're gonna tie a rope out on the branch somewhere, and we're gonna cut it off out there to make things a little smaller. We have to make it smaller because if we were to just tie it at the bottom and cut it at the bottom, the branch would be so long that it would swing down and sweep the roof. We don't like that. Using this carabiner and sling today, so that way the fellas on the ground don't have to untie a bunch of wet knots all day. This rope is only damp now, but it'll be saturated by the end of the day. And wet rope is a lot harder to untie than dry rope. All right, here we go. Oh, that probably just shook a bunch of rain down on you. I'm sorry about that. That went perfect though. We just barely missed the roof. Used up every inch that we could. Now we're gonna cut the rest of that limb off in a smaller piece here, and it'll do the same thing. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Alrighty, I'm tied on so you can wrap that rope up if you'd like. Alright, our next limb right here is a lot higher up in the tree. You see our last limb was down there. This one's up here, so we got more vertical clearance over the house, and it's a smidge shorter. So we're gonna do it in one piece. Because we got more space, it'll all work out great. Haha, that was perfect. This is the same as the last one, except the branch is a little bit shorter and it leans out farther over the house. We're a little bit higher. I think it'll still fit just right. Not a branch touched. If you're newer to climbing and you're trying to figure out how to move around a tree and be stable and everything, the common temptation is to stand directly on top of a leaning spar. But if your climbing rope is off somewhere else, like I have in this situation, it's on the other half of the tree, it's way more stable to get on the side of the lean of the spar you're on. And now you're way more balanced. You've got this rope pulling you this way and this rope pulling you this way. And you can go up and down and everything like that and adjust your position rotationally around the stem. And it's just so much easier than trying to tiptoe and balance and, you know, whoo, that kind of thing. So there's a top tip for you today if you were looking for one. We're at the top of this part of the tree now, and it's about the same elevation as everything. But when I was setting up the rigging point, I didn't have the foresight to cut that limb off over there. And so our rigging rope goes down, tucks underneath of it, and we lose about 2.5 feet of rigging rope over there and elevation on our rigging point. Not a great scenario because this limb is gonna have to fall further before the rope really starts to catch it. It's gonna work out. This isn't super tall and we can get it to go beside the house without the influence of the rope anyway, but it is a little bit of a bummer. You ready down there? Now I just made a scissor wheel cut which exposes these fibers that are going to be in the hinge, and it's going to allow them to separate and hold on longer throughout the swing of the limb as it comes off the tree. I moved my flip line over to here so that way if this peels all the way down it doesn't catch my flip line. But this is going to make our whole scenario here work out a little bit better since we have to compensate for the rope situation. I am going to cut real close to my lanyard, but I'm not going to cut my lanyard. There we go. I hope you guys saw it. For just a split second, these fibers all separated. That helped that stay on there a little bit better, I think. That limb also fell a long way, and it danced around right at the end when the rope caught it. It wasn't ideal, but it was enough to keep it away from the house. That one I heard it just barely touch the shingles. That's a bummer. It didn't hurt anything, but I really tried to make sure we don't really touch anything if possible. That way there's no argument, no question. Somebody has some damage on the roof that was there before we were there. Something like that. I've never had any problems, but still, just try to treat people's property as nice as I can. We got all the brush off of this side, and so now all we have left is some wood. Now when we cut wood off, it's gonna swing pretty hard and it's gonna dance around and swing all over the place because there's no leaves on it to slow it down in the air. So it's gonna look really hazardous, but as long as Isaiah down there lets the rope down a little bit before it swings back, it won't be any danger to me. Took out a little bit of that locust tree over there. Yeah, you probably got to keep it above the roof line until it settles down enough to let it down. Oh, you got it. We're going to change gears a little bit here. We're going to rig on this side of the tree now. And to do that, because a lot of this stuff leans kind of this direction, we're going to go over there and flip that rope around the other side of the stem, maybe cut a few branches off. And then we're going to come back over here and we're going to send all this stuff this way around that stem. It would be a terrible, horrible experience of tangled ropes and crossed ropes if we left the rope where it's hanging and cut this stuff off, because it all wants to go that way. Now I want to go over to that side of the tree, but then I want to come right back over to here when I'm done. So my two options are, one, either climb all the way down to that union, then climb back up that other spar, or I have this shortcut. This is not something I've invented by any stretch of the imagination. Just gotta take our tail, wrap it around the tree, attach it to a structural part of our harness, not like a gear loop or anything. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna use this to let ourselves swing over there nice and gentle, which will not only protect us from slamming into that spar, but will also give us a way to return ourselves back over to here once we're done doing our work over there. I suppose I could have connected this to there and made it a little bit nicer, but it's doing the trick. There we go, that lets us over nice and gentle. I'll save this tail, make sure I keep it with me. Now you gotta be careful, some devices you can't do this with, like the rope runner, don't think you're allowed to do this with that. We'll work our way up this rope now. Okay, and all we need to do is switch this rope to the other side of this big limb here. After looking at things, I think we'll also cut this off to get it out of our way. And just do a little spear cut and let it fall. I think we got enough ropes going on here. My goodness. Everybody clear? Very nice. Since I have the end of this rope here, I'll just keep it with me for a return trip over there. I'm thinking this rescue rope's gonna be in the way, but let's see if the ground guys can kind of move it around down there and resolve that. Alrighty, now we're gonna make our journey back over to where we were. And we're gonna do that just by pulling on this. Now, there's a lot of friction in this system with that tree, the rope going around that tree limb over there. We've also got a lot of mechanical advantage. So, it's a lot of rope to pull. It's not super easy to pull, but it gets the job done. Let some rope out of this thing. Whoopsie. A little bit jumpy with all that friction in there on the tail. Obviously, this would be a little better if you had a nice little pulley carabiner or something. Ow, ow, oh, I hit my elbow. Ow, that hurt. Okay, and we're safe and sound back over here. It also works really well if you're just pulling yourself over. You know, if I was just gonna go over there and stay over there and be done here, you can unclip this from yourself and pull it all out. And it's, you know, you're not dedicated to having to come back over here to get your rope out or anything. First things first, we're gonna deal with this limb, and then we'll work on this stuff. And the reason for that is because we need this stuff to swing this way, and that one's in the way. But here, we're not over top of anything, so we're just gonna cut these and let them free fall butt first. The tops will get stuck in that other tree, and then they'll wanna swing out and go butt first. Yeah, that's how I plant a tree, all right. That worked out real nice. That limb slid off of there. Minimal damage to this. This is a Norway maple tree. They're super fragile. As you can see, this one got torn up really bad by a storm recently. It needs to come down, but it's not on the schedule to come down, so we want to treat it as nice as we can until it is ready to come down. We don't want to leave a mess, little hangers and everything in a tree for an indefinite amount of time. We're gonna do the same thing with this one. That one wasn't as smooth, but the same principle worked out. Now we have the freedom to just drop this in a couple small pieces and land in a brush pile down there. We got one more up a little bit higher here that I think I can get to fall just right, just among these other trees, just like we did the tips of those other two. Nice. Did brush that thing a little bit harder than I wanted to, but I don't see any damage. Got the rope all tied onto this one. We're gonna take it in one piece and it's gonna fit down through this channel real nice. Looky there. Perfecto. When I say something went perfect or whatever, I hope you guys don't think I'm being cocky. I'm just excited. It's a celebratory exclamation of having success and things going to plan. Tree work is a really dicey industry, and sometimes stuff goes to plan and sometimes it doesn't. Thankfully, I've had enough experience that most of my stuff goes to plan now, but I'll never have a perfect record. This is our last top on this side of the tree. It's gonna slide right down through that channel like the last one did. Real nice. That was excellent. Good work, Isaiah. Very good work. All I've got left on this side of the tree now is wood. The way this wood leans and the situation I have on the ground, I feel comfortable free-falling it, so we're gonna drop it all into that brush pile. It's gonna land, it won't bounce around. We don't have to worry about it flying back into the house. Just gonna whoop, plop it right in there. All right, this piece is ready to go. Gonna give it a little push. Perfect. We try to make them land flat as much as we can whenever we free fall something. It just means that when it hits the ground, it's less likely to bounce to one side or the other and most likely to stay exactly where it lands. The rain had slowed down, but now it's picked back up and we're getting all wet again. It's okay though, just how it goes. I got a piece of rope tied on to our next chunk of wood. This piece of wood here, as you can see, it leans back towards the house. I'm gonna go down here and cut it somewhere down close to my feet. I'm gonna have the fellows down there pull it that direction. It won't be very hard. It's heavy, but it doesn't lean very far off the center. And so they'll be able to just give a little tug and whoop, pull it over that way, away from the house. I've just picked up my saw and the water's running off of it. Go ahead and pull on that. Yep, you got it. Nice. Alrighty, Isaiah, go ahead and give that a little bit of a pull. No, not yet. Oopsie. Perfect. Very nice. We got all the stuff over the house dealt with. Now all we gotta do is free fall the stuff that's on this side of the tree. Just gonna be a bunch of cutting and dropping. It's raining hard now. We got the last top to cut. It's raining so hard I can't even look up. I want to get the camera lens all wet, but here we go. We're going to send us right into that little spot there. Actually, go toward the telephone pole a little bit more. Perfect. That was minty. I like that one. We're just going to work our way down the stem and we'll cut chunks off as we go. Kapow! That one wasn't as good. It's hard to judge them. The more they lean, the harder it is to get them just right. The ticket to getting them to land flat is to cut the right length piece for how high you are. The longer you cut, the slower they rotate. You got to get the amount of time it has to rotate balanced with how fast you make it rotate based on how long the piece is. It's tricky. Oh, now that one was too slow. I've lost my touch. This piece of wood that remains short enough now that we can tip the whole thing over onto the brush pile there. So I'm going to tie a pull rope to it and then we'll pull it over with the machine. As you can see, it does lean back toward the house a little bit, though there is some of the weight that's back forward in the direction we want it to go. There's definitely more weight towards the house than there is away from the house, so that's why we absolutely need to pull on it with something substantial, not just a couple of guys out there in the grass. I'm going to bounce on down now real quick and we will cut this thing down. Oh, look at that. Ow, 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 that pinched me. I'm okay. Look at all that juice. Yum. Got the skid loader all tied up here. Aiden can't see a thing through the window, but that's fine. Go ahead and back up here. We'll get some free tension on this. This rope is soaked. Just nasty. Alright. Keep going. Keep going. Probably good for free tension. Let's see how much water we can slap off the rope. Oh, it was like brown. That's gross. Okay, let's go make some cuts. See here, we got these lines on the chainsaw. We're going to use these to line up with our direction of fall. That follows the rope pretty well. We're ready to make the back cut. cut up real nice. Our kerf on the back closed just a little bit, so we didn't have quite perfect pretension. Alrighty, Aiden, go ahead and pull. Nice. There we go. Everything's on the ground. House is safe and sound. All the stuff is on the ground here in a nice little pile. Overall, aside from the rain, it was actually a really good day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you guys. We'll catch you next time.